The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now a couple of minutes after 6 p.m. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know that you're locked on to the True Nation Station WACK 90.1 FM, where we are culture crazy. First and foremost, let's kick it off as we always do. Must give thanks and praise to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and allowing us to see another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always give thanks. Secondly, we're gonna acknowledge those who went before us, both the forefathers and the guys on the shift. Right, so much thanks to Tony Prescott for bringing us up to this point, and well, God bless Mr. Desmond, who's going to be taking it up afterwards. But we know Columbus lied, right? Columbus lied. That is a guarantee. One of the things we're going to acknowledge at the end of this week is Emancipation Day. Right, so joining us in the living room this evening in the continued absence of DJ Aaron 868. Culture is his code, and apparently anyway, whatever new codes he have, he'll tell all about when he gets back himself. But we have joining us this week to discuss paths to freedom. Yeah, that's what the P this week stands for. The P this week stands for paths to freedom. Right? We have with us our returning element of the living room. He's furniture right now. He's furniture in the living room. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, joining us this week, we have Mr. Joash Webb.
Thanks a lot, Ricardo. I appreciate the invite again, as always. I say the living room is always someplace that we need to really embrace. To those of you that are new to me, I'm Joash Webb, the guy that sings, the guy that does martial arts, sports, athletics, loves to share, motivate, and improve lives. So I know you're going to enjoy this session today as we're in the living room. I would encourage you to always stay tuned and look out for something great today and all the other weeks.
Yeah, that is why we bring him. That is why we have him in the living room. Aaron don't invite nobody to check us out in the beginning of the episode. So anyway, it's not like I'm trying to replace him or anything like that. That's poor form. That's poor form. But Joash, you're right. For those of you who are new to the living room, this is like a bit of a video magazine for WAC 90.1 FM. We have a variety of topics, including things like mental health, current events, cultural events, just generally anything you can talk about. We talk about in the living room: relationships, politics,
finance. I see
finance. Yeah, personal development. But we motivated by two things mainly. Most importantly, is just about being better citizens. It's just about being better citizens. And secondly, one of the undercurrents of that is healthy male affection. Because as men, we have to kind of keep each other in check, because a lot of society requires that we function in a particular way. Right? And to be a brother's keeper, you have to really know what's going on with your brother now. And as a man, you have to be able to explain to your brother what's going on. So I'm gonna ask you a question, Joash, that is a very important one in the living room. All right, it's not just where's he seen jelly bean, or where's he just physicist, what's the word hummingbird, but a legitimate, from the heart and with intent to listen. How are you?
Thank you very much. I am firstly good. Must thank God for life. Most people do that, but I genuinely appreciate the fact that I can take a breath in and breathe out. Life is not promised. Many of us would have lost loved ones during the years, and I am grateful for the opportunity to interact with others, to add to myself and to add to others. I am in good spirits. I am in a time in my life where there's a lot of new things happening and a lot of building going on. And I am seeing the growth. So I am inspired. I am feeling motivated. Yeah. But Ricardo, what about you? How are you?
I'll be honest with you. I am a bit tired, but good tired. Right? I'm not tired because I'm frustrated. I'm tired because I'm functioning.
Yeah.
I'm tired because I'm in a season of productivity where I legitimately give thanks to God for life. And I don't just mean generic, boy, fighting a good fight, I mean, I've had friends who've had to go to the hospital this week for respiratory issues. There are people out here with the Sahara dust we're navigating. I think there's some kind of virus or another going around that have people wondering if certain things making a resurgence. Yeah, because people go into the doctor and the hospital for similar symptoms now.
Yeah.
And just legitimately being able to breathe when the day comes, to be able to swing my two legs off the bed and feel the ground under my feet, to know that if rain start to fall during the night, I'm not getting wet. That even if I'm hungry, I have an idea that where a meal could come from. There are things that I'm legitimately grateful for, and I take none of them for granted. So even when I'm tired, I still give thanks for that, because I'm not tired because I'm bored and I'm frustrated. I'm tired because I'm in purpose.
Yeah.
So that's another good P word for this week, purpose.
Purpose, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're a very purpose-driven guy yourself, but I know these things. A lot of the people who might be looking at the picture realizing, I see this young boy regular, and I might not know why I've made the investment and making the investment in you that I am. I've seen something about you, and I believe Trinidad and Tobago going to see it on a larger scale. And I just want to be able to tell them I told you so, because I see it early now. Because I just want people to see that, hey, Carter really had a call that one. But I know you're involved in a lot of things. You're a guy, you talk about a season that you're in, and one of those, I talk in a business plane, is that you've made steps to regain control over your time so that you could invest yourself in things that you believe in.
Yeah.
I think that is a very important step on the path to freedom. So I don't know, you don't have to go into details, but I'm gonna ask a simple question. Tell me how you feel today compared to how you would have felt on a Tuesday 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's funny. For those of you that probably used to work with me probably 3 months ago, I'll take no offense. But when you say that, honestly, it's part of freedom is definitely the right thing to say. I didn't choose a name, just letting you all know. But
yeah, that's on me.
It's it genuinely, like, the comparison is like jail versus being freed from jail. Sometimes you're in a cycle or a box. People always say step outside of the box, but when you're in the box, you don't know you're in the box, if you know what I mean. When you step outside the box, you see how much you can do more than what's directly in front of you. So I feel a lot free. I feel able to do a lot more, and motivated to continue walking in the direction and those things that are aligned with my values, purpose, and where I see God carrying me. So with that being said, a lot of the things that I do and don't do comes from that. So while my life was filled with opportunities before, and I was doing this, that, and the other, busy here, there, and everywhere, and also falling short in many areas, it's something I'm still working on. But because I was grasping onto so much, trying to do so much in the light, on the outside, it may have looked productive, but it wasn't making true. I wasn't getting true success. So now that I've taken this path and taking my time to focus on what really matters, I'm seeing growth, I'm seeing progress, and I'm feeling motivated to continue doing that. And now I'm really aligning myself with the type of people I would like to be around. And sometimes we feel like, as long as we're doing our skill, it doesn't matter who it is. It's not discrimination, but we just want to do everything for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that it conflicts with your values and stuff. But to you say anything for the dollar. But then in turn, it's like you're doing the same thing. It comes like, I don't want to touch on, okay, this will make it a little better. So this is not my situation, but if there's someone partaking in an illegal activity,
right,
and ask you to lend them some money to do that illegal activity,
right,
so it comes like you're surrounding yourself, even if it doesn't directly affect you. Now you're building connections in the wrong spaces, so if you use, we have a certain amount of time on the earth,
mm-hmm.
right? So how you use your time really matters. The time you spend doing one thing is time taken away from doing something
else. Yeah.
So it's not just about not doing this, but you have to care about your dreams. You have to care about your purpose. You have to care about the things that you have to do,
mm-hmm.
and not shortchange yourself or not shortchange your purpose.
Hey, that is excellently said, Joash, and it resonates so deeply in about 6 different ways. One of the errors I made coming up was that I tried to do everything. But trying to do everything is actually a high-level form of procrastination. Because when you're trying to do everything, you're actually putting off what is priority. You're putting off what is most important. So you're convincing yourself that the reason I didn't do the main thing I was supposed to do was because of how much else I was doing.
Yeah.
Right? But the reality is, you're not doing the most important thing. It's like you have a boat because a flood coming, and you're supposed to build this boat. And instead of building the boat, right, you're busy doing everything except building the boat. Right? Let me go and get a nice steering wheel for this boat. Let me go and get some nice windows for this boat. Let me go and tell people about this boat. Let me go and get gas to this boat. Let me go and all of the things you're doing around the boat. But you're not actually building the boat. So when the time comes and water start to come up, you have a whole lot of things that you can't do nothing with because you never actually build the boat.
Yeah.
Right? So you fool yourself into thinking you was preparing. You fool yourself into thinking you was promoting, but you didn't actually produce. And even if you did produce, what you produced was
you build a nice it's called, I think, the sail, a real pretty sail,
big sail, beautiful sail. You understand? You could catch all the breeze and people will see this boat coming, but it ain't no boat. Mm-hmm. Right? And I realized that you could be productive without necessarily being progressive.
Yeah.
Right? You could make something that don't really lead to anything else. Right? So you're right when you say that. I was thinking of how many projects I was involved in, but I had never actually built a thing.
Yeah.
So you're helpful, but you're really advanced at it.
Yeah. And that is part of the whole season as well, because with what I was involved in and stuff really didn't have anything to do with building that purpose or adding towards that. Mm-hmm. But there are things that I was working on since very early in my life, like let's say martial arts, so karate.
Mm-hmm.
To be exact, I started karate when I was 8 years old. Currently I'm 27, so that's, you could work out the maths, right?
That's a portion
most of my life, right?
Yeah.
Most of my life. And it's something that I was gifted with. I would say gifted because I was exceptionally well at it. I put in a lot of work doing that. I don't want to underappreciate the work that was done.
Yeah.
But also it's something I am good at and easy to pick up. Like, dropped it. And after a while, with work and doing everything else, I was not able to go to karate. I've stopped for like about 4 or 5 years after UE and stuff. So recently I made the decision to go back to martial arts, to start to give back, because what martial arts did for me was more than just physical fitness. It helped with my mental health. It helped with my motivation. It helped with in school when I have bad days. Like, I could tell you a time. In my first semester in UE, I could have quit.
Right.
I don't know if I ever shared that in the show. You know, I have to be conscious of sharing these stories. I don't know. But in my first semester in UE, I failed 3 out of 5 courses. And that's from coming off of feeling good about myself. Going back a little bit further, I passed for Pleasantville Secondary School. Because Pleasantville, I born in Pleasantville. I like the community, it's good. And you can do great from that school.
Yeah, my
but then I went on to Presentation College. You know, it was always my dream to go to that school. Push hard, started from the back of the class. Had a lot of subjects I missed the foundation on. So I was fighting all the way up to Form 6. From the back, it was a slow progression because these guys already have a head start and they're already brilliant. So when I finally get that break in Form 6 and then I go on to UE, pushing. Dreams shattered. 3 subjects, and I'm not financially at a place where, that small thing, I'll just pay for it. My parents not at a place where, that small thing. So now I have to find a way to find money and do this, and also the motivation to believe that I could come back and complete 3 years of this again, and then whatever postgraduate studies. Something that helped me from martial arts is the fact that one thing is said, when you hit rock bottom, there's only one way you could go. It's up. Come like when you reach the ground, somebody floor you. When you have one place you could go, up. Right? And had some like motivational words we'd say in TACA, then we could bring it back. TACA is the club where Trinity Almighty Karatecas. That's the club where I train. And there's something we utilize called words of wisdom. I could give you an example of one of them. It's like, I will be bold. I will be strong, for the Lord thy God is with me. I will not be afraid. There's the second one with God all things are possible. Faith in God can move a mighty mountain. You can if you think you can. As a person thinketh, so are they. A smile is a winning asset. Consistency and purpose are the principles of a winner. And this one particularly, a winner never quits. And a quitter never wins. You know, so even though you're at a position that seems difficult or seems that, that is the day, I need to quit. Are you a quitter? Nah. A quitter never wins. And in the end of the day, I was able to push through. I can tell you that I didn't even fail a subject, a course after that, ever. And to me, in that position, like, okay, well, whoa, this is one semester, I don't fail 3.
The better I'm
going and go on for the rest. I probably go and fail real courses going through this. But it's the ability to bounce back up. It's the ability to continue growing. It's the ability to push past the difficulties and the mountains that appear in front of you. Yeah, so I really made that decision to give back to others. There are kids in the karate school that would be blessed by my presence. I know Professor Santa, Simeon Santa, that's the owner of Santa's here in King on Point of View Road.
Right in Santa. They just have a couple buildings down after the optical center.
Yes. Opposite where the old Pennywise used to be. On Point of So he's the senior instructor there, and I am so grateful for how I've been blessed. So I've decided to give back to others and also build on my own so I can start my own karate school.
Amen.
We fall under the same name, Trinity Almighty Karatecas. But the desire now is for me to bless others and to multiply that as much as possible. Because what it did for me, I know it could do for others. And I can give so much more based on my experience in other areas of life as well.
And that is wild, because what you've done there, I mean, the decision to reinvest in the soil that produced you is an important one, because people just talk about Trinidad and Tobago in terms of the seeds and the fruit, right? It's have bad seeds and it have good fruit and bad fruit, but the soil is important. And we have to actually develop the environment for certain things to happen. And the idea behind that, you'll hear people make statements like political will. Political will is the desire of those who have the authority and the resources, right, to curate the soil so that things that people plant will either bear fruit or not. Right? You have exhibited some personal will to curate, to nurture the soil that helped produce you, because you were able to lean on things that you got in those spaces when you hit some hard times.
Yeah.
Right? And hard times is not always financial. Right? You're right. Motivation is an important thing. I was trying to explain to a friend the other day. She's in a tough season. And I was telling her that one of the things that she should do is to go and treat herself to like a little dessert or something like that, even if it's something small. Right? Now, one of my things is, like yesterday, I jam a roti from Sally's. Or I don't know if you ever see the video, right? But I found a roti shop in Marbella and walking distance from home. Absolutely delightful roti. And these people, I ain't gonna lie, it's vibes. So they messaged me yesterday morning. Yeah, Sally's serious. And they messaged me to... Yeah, it's a little hideout. So they messaged me to see how I was going. And I'm like, hey, they're actually home this morning. Let me go and jam a roti, because one is comfort food, right? But two is also a small treat to myself. Now, the way that your brain functions, right? Your brain can't tell what is cheap satisfaction from what is meaningful satisfaction. That's why we stuck scrolling through social media, because we get a little dopamine hits from people commenting on our posts and seeing the red heart or the red notification saying somebody pay attention to us. We get cheap dopamine hits. Sometimes it's okay to give yourself a dopamine hit. Your brain needs to signal to your body that there's an element of satisfaction. If you're working in a job where you're getting paid month end, right, you have to see some value in what it is you're doing until month end. Otherwise, you fed up from the time you reach to work until you get paid month end and you are reminded of why you're doing this job.
Correct.
When you're working with people that you like to work with, you enjoy going to work because your brain gets satisfaction and signals to your body that there is reward, even though you might not have actually produced anything or gotten paid or the project not finished.
Yeah.
Right? So when you...
When I say with needs and thing, it's so complex. Like, about the Maslow hierarchy of needs as well.
Aaron will be very proud to hear you bring that up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many levels to the Maslow's, to people's needs. That someone, when you're in a workspace, someone might be at a different place to the person next to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that might be a little bit difficult for employers, but at the same time, each individual have a responsibility as well with regards to their motivation and protecting
Yes.
Protecting their peace.
Yes. Right. And the path to freedom is recognizing that even if you're walking somewhere that don't seem like anything happening yet. Right? You have to set small, identifiable and reachable goals so that you could see the progress even if the thing not finished.
Yeah.
Right? Is a positive, is a mindset, is a growth mindset.
If you don't have anywhere to go, then where you going? You won't reach anywhere because you're not going anywhere.
That's right. Right? It's like the leaf in the drain, or the leaf that flowing down the river, and it get caught on a little corner where it's spinning in a little eddy. It's spinning in a circle, so it's moving but it's not going anywhere. Right? And sometimes a little extra water had to come down, or somebody had to chuck it so that it get back into the path that flows somewhere. Because a lot of us moving and not going anywhere. So you have to, as best as possible, find somewhere to go. Even within a space where you're not moving, you could look at setting goals for yourself. Like, listen, even though I'm not up for a promotion, even though they're not going to raise my pay, you could ask yourself, well, all right, what I could learn on the work this year that I didn't know before. You don't have to go back to school to further your education, you know. You could decide to learn in the space you're in.
In the space, correct.
Right? Hey, so and so does always do the books, you know, and I never really deal up in that, but maybe I could get them to teach me this year, or I could learn how to do it in case they need a sick day, I could cover.
Yes.
Right? We could find ways to grow.
And if you're not growing, there's a saying, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
It's something we utilize in karate as well. If you're not growing, you're dying. You're gonna say it, but
yeah, you just say that the day you stop learning is the day you begin to die. Something along those lines. Yeah, the day you stop learning is the day you start to die. Something along those lines. But it's the same sentiment that if you're not learning, if you're not growing, you're on the decline.
Yep.
Right? And I'm glad to hear you talking the way that you're talking, because sometimes the space that you're in is really preparation for a space that you're going into.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could tell if 10 years ago somebody would say, listen, Joash, some of these sayings that we have you learning, some of these sayings that we have you learning going to help you stay in university while you're doing a kata.
I would not think that. I would not think that. You'd hear plenty stories, huh? Mm-hmm. There are stories about how it helped this one, how it helped that one. But I don't think that would have been me.
Never me.
Until university. Or until on work, when I'm going in the washroom and I wash myself in the mirror. And I'm using them same words.
Gas up yourself, yeah.
Yeah, say, bro, get out there, and I'm not feeling sorry, you know, you had to push through this. Mm-hmm. You're going to another level. So, I would not think so before, but it's so beneficial. It's so, I see the value of it. And I just would like to see how it could impact others. Like, there are youths that are misled. There are so many that are misled out there. They don't have those mentors. They don't have. It's either the men are missing, the good mentors are either missing, or they literally have negative mentors, those that influence them to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And they look up to them. So.
Yeah, because they're there.
It's really difficult.
So, now you mentioned tech as one of the areas, you know, one of these checkpoints on your path to freedom, even before you knew there's a path you were on. But I also know that you're involved in Athletes in Action.
Yeah. I'm involved in Athletes in Action as well. Athletes in Action.
What is that for those of us who are less familiar, you know, not necessarily as athletic or action couple?
Yeah, well, Athletes in Action is an international organization formed under CREW. So it's a ministry-led, faith-based organization that actually youth. Yeah, but CREW is a faith-based organization. Athletes in Action is a ministry under CREW, where we utilize sports to influence others to live better lives. You know, we do this in sport and through sport. In sport is where sport already exists, and through our presence we influence others. For example, we are currently working with some teams like Evolution FC, St. Mary's College secondary school football team, as well as Dunstan Williams Football Academy. So what we do is insert ourselves in these environments and work along with the team to develop values, because we understand that life is not just sport and home. Life is not just sport and school. Yeah. While most of them that we deal with are student athletes, life is much more than this. So the idea is to understand all aspects of life and walk them through, so that they have somebody that they can speak to about things where they have issues, regardless of how it comes, and we kind of work with them hand in hand as individuals. Initially we speak to everyone as a group, but in our presence amongst the team, we work with them to walk through life and develop values, tenacity, and make it through situations. Basically that.
How has Athletes in Action helped you though? Because I mean, you already had TAC. So
Yeah.
how being in this space make a difference to being in that space?
Both of them similar. For this current moment in my life, it's basically the same thing.
Right.
In that path to freedom, one of the things, as I said with TAC, was giving back. More so, my life, I had to utilize what I had inside of me and direct it towards multiplying, planting seeds, as you mentioned, the soil and stuff before. The whole idea, Athletes in Action, we recently formed. It had a presence before locally. Well, it's in 100 and something countries, and 80 something of them are ministries. We are now growing, and we have a solid national team. So you'd hear more about Athletes in Action, more and more and more, because a lot is coming. How it's influencing me is my ability to actually influence others. And as I am not just doing this from a perspective of I'm just using whatever I learned before. I am literally studying. I am literally going through data. I am going through knowledge bases to learn and see how I can help others. And in that, I am helping myself as well. In that, I am helping myself because there are so many areas in life. As we mentioned, if you're not growing, you're dying. I am sharpening my skills. And bro, I am an athlete as well.
Yeah,
me starting my karate wasn't just me starting my karate wasn't just to teach.
Right.
This in action. I am in action too.
You in action too.
This Sunday I have my first tournament since coming back.
Boy.
If all you want to see, come this Sunday will be at the cycling velodrome in Cuba.
Yeah.
The name of the tournament is Dragon Cup.
Right.
So Sunday the 3rd. You can come. If you want to support me, if you want to just be entertained, make sure you go to church first or your religious celebration or whatever, and come through after, because I'm telling you, I'm going for the win. Competitive spirit, and unlike I just come back, I just participate.
You're warming up.
Draw. The outcome not gonna affect me because I know I put it in the work.
Right.
But just saying, when I get my truth, you are coming to show it early on the show, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if all you know, but the first time I went by Joash Webb and I walk in the door, I nearly trip over a trophy. I mean, I'm not kidding all you. There's hundreds of trophies and medals. Right? So when you talk about going for the win, trust me, I am down for it, and he joking there, right? So we've touched on TAC, right? Trinity Almighty Karatecas, right? You've touched on Athletes in Action, and by the way, I'm gonna post some of these things so that those of you who are interested in finding spaces for that young man or young woman within your space to try and deal with some of that, youthful energy, in a very healthy and ethically sound space, right? We're gonna make some of those resources available to you guys, right? So there's so much that you do. You also mentioned this singing thing, Joash. I've heard you sing.
Ricardo, before you switch, because I don't want to lose the opportunity to mention as well that
damn, I like. Let's see that assertiveness. Let's see that boldness. That's what we're talking about. Self-advocate, brother. You do your thing.
Yeah. Later on in August as well, there's the TAC, the school that I am from. We're hosting a vacation classics tournament. So you're getting to compete and you're getting to vacation. So it's in Tobago. It's on August the 23rd. Yeah, Saturday, August the 23rd. Scarborough Secondary School. Spectators could come. It's $30. And if you're 5 years or under, come for free now.
Alright, yeah. So on the 21st, we go in Movie Town.
Yes.
For the movie night. to support Daniel and
Yes.
his Taekwondo quest for world championships in China. Right? He in Mexico training, but he looking to go China. So we go in Movie Town on the Thursday, and then we heading across to Tobago for the Dragon Cup. Not the Dragon Cup. The Dragon Cup is this Sunday.
Sunday. The 3rd is Dragon Cup, and the 23rd is TAC Vacation Classics.
TAC Vacation Classics. Right. Real action, you know. That is action. That is athletes in action. That's action. Real action.
Yeah.
I know that you sing as well, and over time, I guess we'll get into that. I guess we'll get into that. I've heard you sing, and even your speaking voice. There's I picking it up, and I'm pretty certain people who listen to WAC, who they listen to good quality content and music and thing, they will hear that there's a richness in your voice that is almost like you have your engine idling. Right? Yeah, like you could tell that when you rev, it have some power behind it. You know, at least that's the visual that I get when I hear you speak. Like this is a engine that idling, and when you start a rev, you'll really hear what it is you're capable of. And I'm glad that you're using your voice in this space in this way. Is important, and I'm talking plain. You see this Emancipation Week here? It is important. And we're not excluding anybody. We're identifying an area of need. But it is important to hear young, positive Black voices at this time. It is very important. Again, we're not alienating, we're identifying. Right?
Yeah.
When we look at the state of emergency, right, that has been called, and I'm not politicizing here, but when we look at the state of emergency that they say has been called because of a threat within the prison system, and we look at not just the majority of inmates within the prison system, but also the number of employees within the prison system, we have a community that definitely needs positive influence, positive advocates, positive mentors. So Joash, the work that you are doing, it is important. It is, you know the importance of it, and you know the Lord who sent you to it. Right? I want to just tell you how much I appreciate being able to say, hey, I know a gentleman years younger than me. When I mean years younger than me, we are not of the same generation. Right? I have friends who have kids who just are a couple years younger than you are, right? So we are different generations, but being able to turn and say, yeah, no, this one, he wears his pants on his waist and with a belt, you know, and he went back to school, and you know, he's physically active, and he doesn't this, and he stopped that, and he working through this, and but being able to identify you as a positive male influence, right, for the community that needs most positive male influences. I'm telling you that it's an honor for me to be able to sit and have a conversation and to reliably call upon you, right? I'm not taking this lightly, and I hope the listeners understand that this is very intentional, and I want them to support, and I want them to big you up and ask for you if they didn't see you, right? Or when they hear that you're doing something, to recognize that you being present validates it. That they could send a niece, they could send a nephew, because right, Joash, right? I want you to continue to develop your web of influence. See what I did there?
Influence.
Yeah, right? So that you don't trap people in it, but you attract them to it. You know, I'm really, really honored and proud of you, and I really want to thank the Phillips for trusting Aaron enough to trust me, that when the time come and I bring in somebody that we could trust as well, that they recognize the value in what it is we're trying to do, not just for WAC, but for Trinidad and Tobago as a community. So there's my emancipation message, you know. Right?
Yeah, I honestly, as you said, you're thanking the Phillips. I'd like to thank them as well, and the entire the WAC studio family. ever since small, I appreciate the attention to culture. You know, there's the good and the bad in culture. Some people might look at the bad and say, yo, you know, and move away. But the important thing about culture is culture comes from the inside. Culture comes from us. So let's continue to build culture and to shape it in the way that we want it to be. I'm really grateful to be a part of the family and to, as I said, share with others, influence others, and to have that opportunity and receive that lift. You know, because sometimes you'll be pushing, trying to do things, and you're not really getting the support from others. But the fact that I have this opportunity, I must say thank you. I must say thank you.
Yeah. I as far as I'm concerned, the living room do only have 2 seats. Living room have couch. Living room have entire sectional, and them it's supposed to have room in the living room. I really excited to see what you're going to do for the country and to be able to look back on it and nod and smile and say, yeah, boy, I knew it was coming.
And even so, as I said with Athletes in Action, we should bring on there are some national athletes that we work with sometimes, like Jeremy Richards or even Aubrey David, previous captain for the senior men's team. So there are influential persons that we can also I hope we can bring on the living room, chat with them sometime, because they definitely have great stories to share with others.
And I know when Aaron gets back, we're probably going to launch the next season of Living Room. And I telling all you, it's going to be a little different to how we've done it before. We're going to be doing a lot more in studio. It's going to be, as I say, we're going back for that video magazine element. We're going back for the video magazine element. So I'm excited about that, Joash. And I'm hoping that, you know, with your experience in sport, it had no age. Well, I guess that's why I was thinking sport and athlete, and then I put sport. But with the experience, a sport athlete. Anyway, with your experience in sport, that you can help us develop that area, because we can't keep saying West Indies cricket team this and Soca Warriors that, or whatever name they're going to go by. We can't keep saying that we're disappointed in what sport doing and not doing, but we're not highlighting the efforts that people making to try to lift the thing.
I wanted to bring up that point today, and I had some questions to ask you and stuff. But I know early, we have a short while again. This segment was other sports than media, because I mean, you have a little more experience than me in media. I have experience in media, but I think you have a little more experience than me in media, and I have a little more experience than you in sports. So talking about sports media might have been a good
Yeah, don't worry, man. When Aaron come back, he will mediate that one. He will mediate down, because I didn't want him to feel left out. That's why I keep calling his name, you know. That's why I keep calling his name. You know, to give him that dopamine hit now. So one of the things I want to do, Joash, well, firstly, thank you for this conversation. It's been really encouraging, and I hope that the listeners are encouraged by it. This is not one of those we beating it over your head, emancipate yourself from mental slavery conversations. Now we are like, all right, we walking a different path. And we showing all you that there are actual steps that you can take to finding personal freedom and professional freedom, and you know, to contribute to other people having a sense of social freedom, you know, to influencing, to being a positive example. What one of the things we had not touched on was the football work that you do. So I hear you is coaching football now. What's happening there?
I'm not a coach. If somebody want a personal coach, I take up the job. Not necessarily. But I'm currently the manager for Smart Football Aces. We train at Union Hall. It's actually the senior team for Smart Football Academy, which has been around for quite about 3 years. The owner of that would be Roland Atwell. So my involvement in that is pretty new. I have the qualifications. I guess I did a postgrad diploma in sports management, the FIFA CIS program. So now I'm getting a little bit more in the administrative practice So I'm grateful for that. And still in this space, I still have the ability to grow and influence. So it's a two-sided full thing. Because I'm still humble. I have a lot to learn, but I also have a lot to share. So this space is also a good space, but I want to really encourage the people from South, the businesses, the community, especially Union Hall, you're right there. Really come out and support the team when we have games. It will be posted on Instagram. So look for Smart Football Aces. We always keep our updates there. We really want to push this team so that South could grow. There are other teams in South as well. But let's support each other. Let's really build football from the ground, go up, so that we can really see football change. You know, we always have the chances to criticize the national team. But we only want to watch the national team when they have a game. We don't want to support from the ground, go up. Let's support our kids. Let's get them in the academies. And when they're in the academies, support them when they have games. Go. You know? If you have a business, lend some support, whether it's resources, whether it's highlighting. You know? I really am all for improving sports, improving lives. Let's really bring everyone together, utilizing my web of influence. That's the correct word?
Yeah.
So that's my web of influence. Let's come together.
Kenny, that sounds like a whole show though. But anyway, sorry, listening, actively listening.
Yeah, let's come together and make positive impacts. Please. I'm really making that call.
Alright, so what I've seen so far is there's athletesinaction.org as the website, the international website. I'm seeing smartfootballaces.com. Yeah, no, sorry, smartfootballtt.com. That's the link that I'm seeing here on Instagram. I'll check it out. Yeah, smartfootballtt.com. Yeah. Is also you could also search for Smart Football Aces on Instagram.
Yep.
Right. There's Trinity Almighty Karatekas. That's like Karate KAS. Trinity Almighty KARATEKAS. Right, you search them there on Instagram. So you could as you're scrolling, just take a little peek at these spaces and see that they are healthy, foundational athletic spaces for the youths. We have to acknowledge that a lot of our communities don't have green spaces and don't have spaces for the youths to get rid of some of this energy that they naturally have. And instead of them running around in the house and in the yard terrorizing you, maybe you could put them in a space where there'd be some guidance as to the way that they use this energy, so that there's also some development, right?
Yeah.
It adds accountability in terms of, I've seen for myself that there are some coaches that know football, but they don't know how to manage youth behavior. They don't know how to. I'm sorry, but I've actually seen that there are spaces that you send them for the children to learn certain things, but the clubs and organizations themselves do represent order and discipline and accountability. I'm not bad talking anybody specifically. I am highlighting that there are spaces that add values to the thing that they are sharing with the kids.
Yeah. As you say, values. That's one of the key components, so things that we try to teach people to understand with Athletes in Action. We start off there. Values. And what is value? You have to understand what is value and how to view value. If you really are to understand life from a different perspective, as more than just what you see in front of you.
Yeah, we want kids, we want youth out here who going to say, yeah, nah boy, I can't make that turn, I have training. Or nah, I've coached and then find out I wasn't that the real course. We want to give the youth a reason to not do things.
Yeah.
Right? Did they say sport is a deterrent of crime? All they understand how that works? It requires a sense of personal responsibility for the thing that you're involved in. It requires accountability to the people that you are in it with. right? It requires a sense of identity and representation because now, as a member of this organization, I cannot put my organization into disrepute.
Yep.
Right? So let's give the kids some options. I'm sorry, I'm not here to talk about camp and them kind of thing. I'm talking about adding elements to these kids' lives when holiday is done. That they still have to maintain themselves a particular way in school because they are representative of this, that, or the other. They have to watch how they deal with somebody when they walk in a parlor and a shop because that might be a sponsor for the team. Let's start to wire these kids' minds to be a part of society as opposed to something society trying to deal with.
Yeah.
Why the kids?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ricardo. You sound like if you have experience being in sport as well. Have you ever done karate? I don't think so,
I went to one or two classes because it always interested me. But the thing is, I wasn't really much of a joiner. But I've done some personal self-defense training with Keegan Tadashi Taylor. Actually, a lot of people don't know how much martial arts is rooted in his core. Right now, people might recognize him as being the guy who has re-energized stick fighting. Kalinda. Right?
I saw some video about this.
Yeah, even the Boss Head song that Marshall and Bungie sang, he was part of the team that wrote and produced that song. So, in terms of bringing stick fighting and Kalinda into a modern era, right, to remind us of its importance, he does self-defense training. He does a lot of things, but I did some stuff with him, and I was also a part of Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts very early in the game. Very, very early, and I can tell you that is also a safe space for instilling some discipline in the kids, a sense of responsibility. Kerry Grant is...
and that school is going very well.
It is doing well. They represent internationally, they've hosted tournaments, and Kerry himself is a very ambitious, no-nonsense kind of guy.
He does a lot of things and he does them well,
Yep.
He's a good role model.
He is a good role model. I mean, he, like all of us, we have rich histories and even richer futures. But I know Kerry when he was the lead vocalist for Mayaro, the band. So I know Kerry as a singer. I know Kerry before he was a pilot. I know Kerry, whatever he does, he tries to do well.
Yeah.
So big up you, Kerry. But martial art, one of the all they do athletes in action don't do all fours. So they do those all fours as no, right? No. All right, cool. All right, we can leave that there then.
Oh gosh.
But we are actually perilously close to 7 p.m. and Mr. Desmond is already in the building. But yeah, I was more of a mathlete than an athlete. I did a couple of maths Olympiads and that kind of thing when I was going to school. So
I know that was that one of maths Olympiad, and I feel like it actually one of the pioneers of athletes in action.
Yeah. Serious.
Yeah, so that's Camille Mongrou. So I feel we could probably go some kind of competition between you two.
I prefer words to numbers. Give me words to numbers.
I sure you have that. I sure you have that words, but.
The numbers, I was actually surprised, when I really think about it. I still have a lot of those certificates and things, and when I was doing Maths Olympiad, I was in top 2% in the region and that kind of thing.
No, but we should probably highlight those stuff as well too, because it's something that we let go. When people are doing things that are beneficial or things that are good for society, we don't hear about it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
I'm sure it's still going on. When I was in school, it was going on, but people didn't care about it.
Yeah, because now I look back at it and I'm thinking, it's like, dude, Australian Maths Olympiad, Canada Maths Olympiad, Trinidad and Tobago Maths Olympiad. I was in those things. I'm telling you, I have certificates that tell me I was in the top 2% in the region, top 4%, blah. But you do, again, youth don't ever understand the value of these things while they're in it. That's why they just say youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, let's use these experiences to try to help the youths and them redefine what their path to freedom looks like. Because it's no longer the era of geared subjects, get a work, get a pension. That era is over. These youths have to be a lot more flexible. They have to be multidisciplinary. The model has changed. So we have to do our best to prepare them for change and coping with change.
Correct.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us this evening in the living room. Joash, you wanna drop any closing prepared for us? Any final words? Shout outs, anything?
No final words today or shout outs. I feel like I'm more in a serious mood today.
Yeah.
I hope you all were paying attention to what we were speaking about and take action from there. One way you can take action is honestly, like, you can reach out to me via WhatsApp 393-9504, 393-9504, or you can call if you have any concerns or queries. We really hope that you all would be interested in getting involved in terms of the martial arts. That's Trinity Almighty Karatecas. We really want to expand the school and impact lives. And we have tournaments coming up. Get involved. The Athletes in Action. We can work along with your team. But yeah, just get involved. Start a question. Find out more about it. In terms of Smart Football Aces, we really want to get the community of San Fernando and South involved so that we can push these young men forward in the right direction. So reach out to me so that we can really impact our community, please.
And ladies, despite the manner in which he presents himself, right? Young, good-looking, bright, well-spoken fella who have things going on. That number is for business purposes only. Only. Right? Only. Be able yourself. All right. This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band. Happy Emancipation this weekend, guys. It's a long weekend. Be safe, be mindful, be responsible. Let me go and look for our papers to see what they say, whether or not this SOE extended or ended. All right, but either way, you have a personal responsibility. Look out for your brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. All right, stay tuned to WAC 90.1 FM, where we are culture crazy.